And this is just incredible information he'll be sharing. Their organization has grown to include a team of over 5,000 people spanning 7 different countries, and many, many stories of lives have been benefited by the results of these products. So Alan, thank you for joining us, and take it away.
Thank you. My pleasure, Dwight and Mary Lee. And I think that's the best part of what you just shared there at the last, is just seeing the different lives transformed. You know, some transformations small, some transformations big, other transformations we probably will never see because they were, I don't even know if transformation is the right word, but maybe a preventable disease was headed off because of the amazing nutrition and things we'll be talking about. What I want to do over the next few minutes here is talk a little bit about our diet, what's going on with our diet, what's not going on with our diet, some statistics real quick we'll just touch on and where that's led us as a society currently and the trend that we're heading towards. I want to talk about 2 whole food supplements that can help fill a majority of those gaps that we're facing in our diets today. And then I'll close just with quickly sharing with you how you can get access to those products if you decide to, at wholesale and even free if you choose to take advantage of their Neolife referral program. So, but before I do, just a quick story of why now 20 years later, as Marilee said, we are so passionate about what we're talking about here tonight. And that is, you know, whole food nutrition and disease prevention and living abundant, healthy lives. And this story goes back, like I said, over 20 years ago to my wife. And as Dwight was mentioning, some health challenges that she was facing. This is a picture of my family. This was taken in north of Spokane, Washington, where we lived for 9 years. Today we live in Nashville, Tennessee, and we've been here almost 2 years. May will be 2 years. But back in our 20s, after the first 3 children, of which God's blessed us with 6, the 5 girls there on the left, 1 boy on the far right, and 1 son-in-law so far. Kiddos range from 25, no, we've been married 27, range from 25 years old down to 12. And anyway, but our story goes back into our 20s when, with 3 young children, Nicole was having a lot of those health issues that Dwight was mentioning. That was included chronic fatigue syndrome that she was diagnosed with back then, fibromyalgia, depression, irritable bowel syndrome, and exaggerated PMS, and just hormonal imbalances. And that's what sent us on the health journey that we've been on now for 22 years. In those first 2 years, we tried so many other natural products, even resorted out of desperation because we weren't getting any help that we could notice over those 2 years, to some prescription medications for a 6-month stint before getting off of all of those. And shortly thereafter, learning about Neolife and the information I'm going to share here tonight. And Nicole got on the products the same 2 products essentially that I want to share with you tonight. And within 6 months, every single one of those problems, let me say it this way, within 6 months, her body, the greatest hospital in town that every one of us possesses, the human body that's wonderfully made, was able to heal itself of every one of those problems once it was given whole food nutrition that obviously had been lacking in her diet for the first 25 years of her life, that her body could actually utilize, and do what it needed to do. So that's why this is some exciting information, and why many people tell us, well, we wish we'd learned this years ago. So I hope you enjoy it. And regardless of whether you ever try Neolife products or not, which I hope you do, but if you don't, I'm confident you will gain some value, and that is why I love delivering this information. So I want to jump into it by starting and just asking the question, how is your diet looking? And I think we probably, if we're honest, know that even though families like ourselves and probably many of you make a conscious effort to eat well, we know our diets are lacking. We've got chemicals in our food, even in the certified organic stuff. We've got our foods more than we may realize being genetically modified. Statistically now, over 60% of the American diet consists of highly processed foods, is what they're saying. That was from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. And maybe some of that may or may not look familiar for most of you when you open your pantry or other places in the house. The average American now eats out, did you know this, over 4 times a week? 4.2 times per week is the average. last I saw. And these fast food restaurants aren't the only ones that come with many chemicals and compounds that are compromising our health. So that leads me to asking the question that you may be asking, or if not, I'll give you the answer to the effects of the standard American diet. And yes, it is like the acronym spells, it is quite sad. So stand by. Okay, over 70% statistically of US adults now are overweight or obese. We've got nearly 50% of American adults are diabetic or pre-diabetic if you lump those two categories together, which, I don't know if you know this or not, takes a leg every 30 seconds and a life every 8 seconds. So this is serious, serious stuff, serious business. We've got, how about mental illness? Did you know that 1 in 5 people every single year are formally diagnosed with a mental illness? And that doesn't even take into account, obviously, those that are not formally diagnosed, right? We've got, let's see here, 1 in 10. 1 in 10 people now 65 and over have Alzheimer's, dementia. Chronic diseases, how are we doing there? We've got 6 out of 10, according to the CDC, that now live with a chronic disease. That's 6 out of 10 US adults live with a chronic disease, not will have, not might have, not will get, do have, 6 out of 10. And guess what? 4 out of 10 of us, thankfully not me, hopefully not you, but 40% of us have 2 or more chronic diseases, according to the CDC. And the CDC reports that as of last year, we hit this mark where 75% of all deaths are attributed to, or a direct result of a chronic, what they're calling a lifestyle related disease. Now, why are they calling it lifestyle? Because the majority of these things are preventable, not genetic, preventable. We have, and we'll get to that here in a second, but it leads one to ask, at least hopefully ask, like, how do we navigate this? And with no guarantees, at least do our part to, to be good stewards of this body God gave us, and to set ourselves up for the best success possible to not be one of those statistics. And I would submit personally that, based on statistics, again, that prescriptions probably aren't the solution, since 70% of Americans are on 1 or more prescription medications, and the problem's not getting better, it's getting worse statistically. We know what the alternative health community would probably recommend, but what does mainstream medicine recommend? We've got now the evidence mounting so large that our diet plays a massive role in this equation, that we have mainstream medicine saying things like this: Center for Disease Control, quote, good nutrition can help lower risk for many of these chronic diseases. We've got the nation's top doctor, quote, so to speak, right? The US Surgeon General saying you are what you eat. And the reality is that 75% of all these chronic diseases are preventable. Notice they didn't say genetic, are preventable, 75%, okay, Dr. Carmona. If there's anybody on the line, and I see many, many people, I think we have 18, 19 people on this call that are sitting here going, yeah, but do I really need to supplement? Or shouldn't I be able to get everything I need from my diet? The answer is yes, you should be able to get everything you need from your diet. The better question is, am I getting everything I need from my diet? And unfortunately, we're not. And again, I'm sure most of you already know this, but in case anyone's on the fence wondering, a USDA study analyzing just 10 nutrients, not all the nutrients the body needs, just 10, and they took a cross-section of over 20,000 people that were not supplementing, and they couldn't find one single person that essentially got what they need from their diet. And they weren't even testing the whole diet, which is why over 3/4 of the population now here in the US take supplements, because most people do realize that fact. We have to supplement to fill the gap between what our bodies were designed to operate on and what we're actually consuming in a 2,000 calorie or so diet. But here's the question I never thought of 20 years ago when we were searching and taking a bunch of quote unquote great supplements. And we spent a boatload of money on some quote unquote great supplements that did not help my wife. I didn't even think about this, but we really need to know the source. There's study after study, report after report of things like, as one example here, this 10-year FDA study where they found over 700 different products that were marketed as supplements that contained a hidden active ingredient that was known to be unsafe or unstudied. something that wasn't even on the label. So it's a very unregulated industry, which is why I love sharing Neolife with people, not only because I know the products work, but I know that they're safe and I know they're dependable and trustworthy. And, you know, any thoughtful person's going to ask the question, well, how is Neolife really different than the other hundreds and thousands of companies out there? And I don't have time to share all the reasons, but a couple highlights. One is Neolife's been around for almost 62 years, since 1958, and not just been around, has a spotless, I'll say pristine track record in this highly unregulated industry that I don't know another company that's been around a decade that can even say that. They've got a pharmaceutical license for manufacturing, which means every time, every batch, every bottle, exactly what the label says is exactly what's in the product, and that's comforting. They're established actually in well over 50 countries globally. So just because we didn't hear them for decades into their existence doesn't mean they're not a household name in many other countries. Just have very little name recognition here, and that's why we're so passionate about ending that and making them a household name so we can end this trend of chronic disease that's plaguing our nation. And they also have a world-renowned scientific research team. Now, this is different than just hiring some good-looking MD with name recognition that looks at the ingredients and for the right amount of money, will say, yeah, I'll recommend your product. I'll endorse it. I'll put my name on it. Different in that these are various PhDs, all with their nutritional expertise in that are employed by Neolife, that do the research, they do the formulating, and they oversee the manufacturing of all the products Neolife makes. Very, very unique. And I wish I had time to go into more detail about these men and women because they really are world-class. And when you take that kind of brilliance and world-class science, real science, not pseudoscience, not slick marketing, and combine it with the raw materials that actually go in, and don't worry, this picture is not what really goes into Neolife products, but what really goes into Neolife products, combined with great science, it creates products that work. So let me tell you about what goes into Neolife products and how this fills some of those missing gaps. What doesn't go in, what I never thought of again 20 years ago was Nicole and I set out for the best supplements we could find. At that point, we were so desperate, money didn't even matter, even though I was a police officer living on a fixed income, which I'm not anymore, but at that time I was. And, so we wanted natural, not synthetic. We wanted natural. We believed that natural would be more healthy for the body, more natural, more bioavailable. And we believed right that natural is better than synthetic. But we never gave a thought to the fact that natural may be things like, well, the list includes a few natural products that are in other supplements like algae, pine tree bark, jellyfish, coal tar, krill, human hair, duck feathers. But although those are all natural and everything I mentioned is in other supplements and of other manufacturers, other companies, they're not human food. Nothing there was food that God designed us to get our nutrition from. Neolife's commitment is to go into real food, human food, like whole grains, fruits and vegetables, wild salmon, things of that sort, to get the nutrients, to put in the supplements, to fill the gap between what our diets have and what our bodies need with the things we're already eating. We're just not eating near enough of for optimal health. And that's a big differentiator in the marketplace. As simple as it sounds, it's a game changer. Like it's not something, it's a standard I just haven't seen anybody else hold up to. As well as everything is organic and GMO free, all the raw materials that go in the products. So the first of the two products that I want to share with you tonight to fill these gaps that are so desperately needed is Pro Vitality. That's what Neolife calls their flagship foundational product that we recommend everybody start with. And I think you'll see why here in a second. Doesn't matter, male, female, young, old, active or not. This fills the most common gaps everybody has. And you'll notice there's 4 different supplements in this daily packet that you take. So I want to run through all 4 real quick. The first one here called Treanin Grain Concentrate is extracts the oil extracted from true whole grains. These oils scientifically are called essential fatty acids, and they're called essential fatty acids because the human body cannot manufacture them or synthesize them like the body can some ingredients, some items. This is not one the body can make, so it's something we have to get in our diet. God put it in whole grains. Whole grains have been the foundational staple of every major civilization for thousands of years. We've got just a slight problem though today. Do you know what it is? It's back to that food processing problem. See, food processors over roughly 100 years ago, let's call it, gave with no thought to the health ramifications of this, and with one objective, shelf life and sustainability of the food for transportation and storage and warehousing and all that, grocery, remove these essential fatty acids from our grains so that the processed flour that's left over, that the whole, quote unquote, whole grain breads, like the picture there that says 100% whole wheat and is not, the whole grain breakfast cereals, whole grain pastas, so it won't go rancid in 2 or 3 or 4 days like fresh ground bread should do. So in the name of shelf life, these valuable compounds have been taken out. In fact, Dr. Siegel in a health article years ago in Time magazine wrote, quote, that essential fatty acid deficiency is perhaps the most important health problem in America. That was back in '94, and our body's need for these have not changed, and grocery stores haven't added them back in. So that is why we say this is the most fundamental supplement anybody could take. Science proves it. In fact, Biology 101 proves it. And this little diagram is hopefully will help you get a visual of what's going on here. Since good health begins at the cellular level, and our bodies are made up of trillions of cells, it's everything we are is cells. The cell membrane here that you see in the picture, the outer wall is made up primarily of these essential fatty acids. It's what allows nutrients to pass in that we eat in our diet and spend a lot of money on, and toxins and waste to pass out. That's how a healthy cell should function. Let me mute a line here. We got an unmute. Sorry, I just hear a little background noise. Bear with me 1 second. And I can't multitask very well here. I'm going to show you another picture in a second of an unhealthy cell. Not sure where that's coming from. We'll Maybe somebody got it. So this next slide shows you a picture of an unhealthy cell, and this is what our cells look like when we're eating grocery store quote unquote whole grains, and we're not getting these oils in our diet. A cell wall becomes less permeable, as the diagram says. I like to say hard and leathery because I'm not a scientist. I'm just kind of a layman, kind of a guy. And anyway, nutrition can't get in. The nutrients that we're eating in our diet can't get in as efficiently. Toxins and waste can't get out as effectively. And it's no wonder we've got so many health problems today. This is a foundational reason why. It's not the only reason why, but it's a fundamental foundational reason why. And it's no wonder people are more tired and less energetic when half the nutrients we're eating aren't even getting into our diet. Aren't even getting to where they matter in the cell. That's why there's an epidemic of hormonal issues. And, obviously this will make us more disease prone when the cells are functioning this way. It's going to affect our sleep. And as I mentioned, we're wasting half of the nutrients we eat. Why do I say that? How can I make that statement? Because Texas A&M actually 2 different times tested this actual product. And what they showed, their study showed, is that the subjects that got the tree and added to their diet versus those that did not add it to their diet, there was a 50% difference in how much nutrients got into the cell where it actually counts. Besides that, if you take it for 90 days, you'll see, forget what Texas A&M study said, you'll get to experience the benefits of your cells working properly. And that usually results in more energy, better sleep, balanced hormones, and a lot of other wonderful things as the body balances itself out. As we turn and look at fruits and vegetables now, another major category of the human diet, we all know, right, that these help us with disease prevention and immunity, so we're getting sick less, and things like weight management and eye health, skin health, obviously cancer protection, and much, much more. Too much to mention the benefits of produce. Did you know, though, that the USDA, unlike when I was in school 40 years ago, I'm almost 48, they would tell us the USDA was recommending 3 to 5 servings of fruits and vegetables daily. Now they just keep upping it. Now it's up to 5 to 13 servings. And for most people groups, most of us on this call, we'd fall in the 8 to 13 servings a day recommended. So think about how are you doing on that. And the answer for 99.99% of us is not so well consistently every single day. And so that's why this second product, carotenoid complex, which was added to the pack, which is derived from 7 different colorful fruits and vegetables, like you see in the picture there, and a couple others that aren't pictured, like strawberries and carrots. And it's the nutritional equivalent of 80 pounds as it relates to the carotenoids, which are the antioxidants extracted out of these whole food items. You'd have to eat 80 pounds of fruits and vegetables per month to get the same amount of carotenoids that's in this box through the carotenoid complex here. And in fact, the USDA, if you want, have you ever wondered when you take a vitamin or some kind of supplement, I wonder how much it's really helping? I wonder how much is really being absorbed. I wonder what the effect really is on my body, if anything. We used to wonder that, especially after 2 years of spending a bunch of money and not seeing my wife get any improvement. We wondered that a lot. What's really cool, this particular product, I told you the other one was tested by Texas A&M, and I gave you the results of that grain oil product. This fruit and vegetable product, the actual capsule you're looking at there, or a picture of, it was tested by the USDA, and they're the ones that said it boosted people's immune systems 37%, their blood level immunity, 37% in just 20 days of swallowing it. And it also boosted their cancer killing cells 20% in that same 20 days. So does it work? Yes. How do we know it worked? Because the USDA proved that it worked. And I've been taking it for 20 years, and I can't remember the last time I got sick. So I also know it works. How about omega-3s? How are you doing on that, in that very, very important nutrient category? USDA recommends 2 servings a week, minimum, okay, of the omega-3 rich fish like salmon or fresh tuna or anchovies, if you like that. What doesn't count is tilapia, catfish, fried fish, fish sticks, or McDonald's Filet-O-Fish. Those aren't the rich omega-3 fish. So are you getting a minimum of 2 servings of the rich omega-3 like salmon per week? And even if you are, a better question is, do you still have joint pain or high blood pressure or high cholesterol or depression or things that omega-3s greatly benefit? Maybe you need a little more, or maybe you need a lot more. So what are the benefits of omega-3? I've got a few on the screen here. This is not all inclusive, but major mental health benefits like depression, ADDs, dementias, joint health. We're decreasing inflammation. It's a natural anti-inflammatory. It's going to improve joint pain. It's going to improve all kinds of body pain, headaches as well. Heart health, lowering triglycerides, improving the omega-3 ratios, things of that sort. And then skin health. There's, conditions such as eczema and other ones that are often inflammation related. So this is why the omega-3 salmon oil plus is a third product in there. What's unique about it, you might ask, because there's fish oils everywhere, right? All 8 omega-3s, not just 2, like most fish oils. And if you have one at home, go check. It probably has 2, EPA and DHA, but this has all 8, the whole family, and the body needs all 8. It's not just a good thing, marketing thing. It's put in there because the human body needs all 8. And just as important as that is, they test for over 200 contaminants with an allowable detection limit left in the product of 0. So not just lead, mercury, PCBs, and maybe a couple others, but 200 contaminants and 0 allowable limit. And if you wondered if this product's got any proof behind it, it actually has been published in one of the most prestigious peer-reviewed journals in the world and was proven to lower inflammation by 68% in 8 weeks. That's huge. And this is why people notice results when they've been on the product for several weeks, typically, sometimes months, sometimes days, but usually weeks or months. So amazing product. And then the last one in there is your essential vitamin and mineral complex, 21 different micronutrients to fill some of the other more common missing gaps in our diet. And that makes the Pro Vitality packet. Those are the 4 products. The last thing I want to talk about is protein, real quick. Now, protein, I wish, was just called 22 amino acids, because we eat chicken or we eat steak or we eat beans or we eat egg or we drink some other protein shake besides Neolife, and we think we got our body's protein need, but we didn't get all 22 amino acids because none of those things have all 22 amino acids. There's actually 22 different amino acids. Don't worry, I won't go through all 22 of them here on the screen because I can't even pronounce them. But there's 22 that make up the family, and our body needs all 22. You might say, well, I'm not a bodybuilder. I don't care about building more muscle. But there's so much, they play roles in every function of the body. Did you know that these amino acids, various ones of the 22, are the building blocks of digestive enzymes? They're the building blocks of antibodies to fight infection and disease. They're the building blocks of hormones. How about the collagen in our skin? Those are some of the 22 amino acids. That's the building blocks. And it also helps control blood sugar and many other things. So just so you know, to get a protein source every day that gives you all 22 amino acids plays all kinds of critical roles in the body. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing as a result. So this is why we say this Neolife shake is the perfect breakfast for the whole family, not just for weight loss, not just for weight gain, although it can be used for both. If someone's, lifting weights and doing things that would cause them to gain weight, or using this as a meal replacement to lose weight, if they're part of the 70% that's statistically overweight, or like our children, they also take this every morning for breakfast because they just want to grow healthy bodies. So whatever your scenario in life, the shake will fit perfectly. It includes all 22 amino acids, the only shake we've ever found that does, by the way. And like I mentioned before, no food by itself does. It includes all the branched chain amino acids. It's got a digestibility score of 1.73, which is about 73% higher than an egg. And an egg is the most digestible protein food there is. So very digestible. 18 grams of protein, in case you wanted to know, mixed in water. It's a complete meal replacement, again, for the 70% that need to lose weight, which is most of the population. It's 140 calories mixed in water, which, because it's a meal replacement, they include the 5 grams of fiber and the 25 vitamins and minerals. And one of my favorite features is this controlled glycemic response technology that stabilizes blood sugar after you consume it to help with weight loss or weight management, and diabetes control, which is greatly needed, both of these two things today, right? And diabetes prevention, like for people like me, because I don't ever want to be a diabetic. I'm not pre-diabetic yet and don't plan to be, and this is helping me with that. So what's not inside the shake? Nothing artificial. Even the color, the flavor, the sweetener, everything is natural. And although there's a little lactose in there, it's 90% lactose free, which is below the scientific threshold that it's even humanly impossible to have a lactose intolerance to it. So for all practical purposes, it might as well be lactose free. People are having amazing results with weight loss as a result of this shake and the way it's formulated. And there's too many stories to mention. Diabetics are having incredible success. I just gotta, as we start to wrap this up, tell you one quick diabetes story. Type 1 of the worst kind, of which only 10% of diabetics or so are. But type 1 diabetic David, 4 years ago, was getting neuropathy in his feet at age 33, which again, #1 cause of amputation, takes a leg every 30 seconds. He knew what was coming. His average blood sugar, even on an insulin pump for 7 years, was well over 200, always over 200, never got below 200, which is like double what it should be. And after 2 months of being on these two products we talked about, doing 2 shakes a day and the Pro Vitality, his average blood sugar, his 30-day average, fell from over 200, where it always was, down to 115. And of course, by stabilizing his blood sugar out into the normal range, his neuropathy in his feet were and are still 4 years later gone. So that's just one of many stories. We've got type 2s that are, lowering their blood sugar to the point where they're not even diabetic anymore, which is really cool. Of course, type 1 diabetic will always be a diabetic, but to have it controlled and maintained for less cost, by the way, than his insulin that he was saving cost. He's saving more in insulin now because his pump is pumping less than the cost of the Neolife products are per month. So that's pretty cool. Not that cost matters when you get to save your feet, but it's a nice benefit. So for nutrition and or weight management, the Neolife shake's incredible. When you put it together with the Pro Vitality, which is what we recommend everybody start with, at least 1 shake a day with the Pro Vitality packet. We call that the breakfast pack. So if you hear that term, that's the breakfast pack, those 2 products in one. And what others are saying after being on the breakfast pack for weeks or months typically is a lot of these benefits that I've already mentioned. So I won't read what's on the screen. I think I've covered a lot of these already. So that's what a lot of people tell us, and we never get tired of hearing it. So as I start to wrap this up, cost. You want to know the cost, or do you want to know the value of the product, or both? Now, why are you saying that, Alan? The reason why is I had someone tell me a while back, he's like, hey, what if I'd sold you a bottle of vitamins for $1, but I told you they won't help you at all? Would you buy them? Would that be a good value? Of course not. It'd be a waste of $1. Who wants to waste $1, right? We want to know value. So let me show you the value. The Pro Vitality, if you want to compare true apples to apples, the nutritional equivalent, what you see on the screen is what you have to purchase and consume each month to get the same nutrition that's in the box of Pro Vitality. And you can figure out what this cost would be. 11 pounds of true whole grain, 80 pounds of fruits and vegetables, 10 salmon steaks or tuna would work, or anchovies, plus a multivitamin that you still have to purchase. And so when you think about that, and that is accurate, and then you think about, well, is Neolife or Pro Vitality affordable? The answer is a huge yes. It only comes out to $1.61 per day for all 4 supplements in that daily packet, which is under $50 for the box of Pro Vitality. And the shakes we compare to a meal, since they are a meal replacement, they come out to $2.89 per meal, or per serving, or per shake, whatever you want to call it there. So again, very affordable for what it is. And those prices are if you're a member of the Neolife Club. So I'm going to close with this. The Neolife Wellness Club is relatively new in Neolife's 62-year history, and it's designed to help in this trend. We started talking about the sickness trends, or disease trends that, in the beginning of this presentation, is out of control. And obviously the medication and the 75% of people that are supplementing already, it's not having a visual effect on it. We believe we can, because we're seeing what's happening with people that will consistently use these products. And so this club came out just a few years ago to help get these products at wholesale prices to the masses. So we all can benefit from this without even having to start a business or anything like that. So it's free to join. I'll tell you how it works. It's free to join, doesn't cost anything. You automatically will save 15% off the entire catalog. And we only talked about 2 products. Neolife has about 100 products. Organic skincare line, all kinds of different nutritional products, probiotics, the list goes on. Okay, you get 15% off the entire catalog. And if you choose to put something on monthly order, they call it auto ship, which you can edit, change, or cancel at any time. You get up to 30% off the wholesale price, the same price. We as promoters pay for the products, no markup at all. And you're in control. They give you your own free website. You have full control over ordering, not ordering, your auto ship, again, editing, add to it, take away from it, 2 clicks of a mouse, and you can cancel it if you would like. They even have a referral program where if you're a loyal customer for 6 months, every dollar you spend on shipping added together for those 6 months gets given back to you 100% in free product of your choice. And the list goes on and on. Fitness and weight loss challenges you can enter optionally and win thousands of dollars and help, get healthier and fitter in the process. And there's even a referral program that if you want to refer 3 other customers to this online wellness club, which is optional, they'll start shipping you free product every month, assuming 3 people order in a given month that you are that you had referred. So just all kinds of great benefits. If you're interested in starting on the product and taking advantage of Neolife's 90-day, 100% money-back guarantee and putting that to the test, and we always recommend people give it a try, quote unquote, for at least 90 days, because it takes 3 to 6 months scientifically for the average person's body, their glandular system and all to balance out. So anyway, but these are the 4 health packs, as they call them. We recommend someone pick one and start there. The breakfast pack, top right, I talked about tonight. It's the most popular pack. Cost is probably less than a small latte. $4.50 a day for the shake, which is a meal, and the Pro Vitalities, 4 supplements that comes with that. But there's other health packs you can see on the screen. Just depends what your goals and desires are. And they all come with Pro Vitality, you'll notice as well. So won't bog down in that too much. And in closing, if you or yourself know somebody that, like us, is excited to work with amazing people and make an impact in other people's health in this way, there is an option to become a promoter. And I just want to throw that out there because we're not talking about that option tonight, but want to mention it because we would love to partner with other people that have big hearts, that love to serve and care, and wouldn't mind making an income helping others. I love the fact that every dollar we make, my wife Nicole and I, in this business now for 5 years almost that we've been doing this, represents somebody else's life being impacted. And I felt great about the money I earned as a police officer, and I felt great about the money I earned building homes for 15 years, but I've never felt so great about the dollars I make now, knowing other people's lives have been impacted in this way. So if you know someone like that would like to learn more about this option, wanted to let you know we have 3 webinars, our webinars 3 days a week that we run. If you want to learn more, ask whoever invited you on this call. I'm sure they could plug you into this webinar to learn more. So with that, that's all I have. I would just ask in closing that that you get back to whoever invited you on this call. I guess for most people it might be Dwight and Mary Lee, but I don't know who invited who onto this call. So I'll just say whoever invited you on the call, and just get back with them and just share with them. Just let them know, you know, maybe on a 1 to 10 scale, if you're interested in experiencing these products or not. You know, just tell them you're a 1 and you're not interested, and thank you, but no thank you. And again, I hope you got some value and learned some things that'll, or reheard some things maybe that you knew and needed to hear again to motivate you to take the next step of improving your health. Or maybe you tell them you're a 10 and you're ready to get started, then do that. Or maybe you have some questions, you know, specific to your needs that you need to ask, and please do that. We definitely want to get you the help you need to take the next step, and we know it'll be worth it. So with that, I am gonna let you know that I am done. If you want to click leave meeting and bail out, you can go. We're a couple minutes over time, but that being said, if anybody wants to stay on and unmute their line, I wanted you to just stay on for another minute or two. If somebody wants to ask a question, be happy to try and answer it.